crypto lifestyle, baby! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to yet another fire live stream interview. And in today's show, we will be sitting down with Hyungsuk Kang, the founder of Standard Protocol, the first ever collateralized rebasable stablecoin that will be launching on the substrate framework. Oh yeah, and by the way, Standard Protocol has received a Web3 grant, and let me tell you, that's a big deal. This isn't your average rebase project, my fellow crypto lifestylers, for a number of reasons, but more notably, due to the fact that Standard Protocol has 3 unique tokens which serves 3 unique functions. Coupled with cross-chain capabilities, this immediately separates them from the other rebase projects that's currently on the markets. And that leaves me with only one thing left to say. Rebase that ish for sure. Well, Mr. Kang, thank you so much for coming onto the program and making this interview happen. We're all excited to learn more about Standard Protocol, sir.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.
No problem, man.
Hey,
Go ahead.
Oh yeah. So I was trying to introduce myself. So I'm Hyungsuk. I'm from South Korea. I'm based in Seoul, and I'm CDO and CTO of Standard Protocol. Nice to meet you guys.
Thank you so much for that brief intro, Hyungsuk. We're going to get into a lot more other questions that people are dying to know. But before we do that, as you know, we are broadcasting here live on YouTube. And what I like to do is say hello to our live participants right now that are watching us before we get started. So just don't mind me, and give me 1 minute, please. All right. Yeah, Sticky's here. He says hello. We have the chat's going crazy already. We got Flipsy here as well. Kanik is here as well. Yeah, we got Deeper here as well. Super chats are coming in already, Mr. Kang. Everybody's just happy. Everybody really wants to know, why is this so unique, right? Standard Protocol to other rebase projects out there. And I know you guys are much more than just a rebase project. I'm going to get into all of that. But before we do that, Mr. Kang, before we learn more about Standard Protocol, I know you gave us a brief introduction of yourself, but we'd like to know a little bit more about your blockchain developing experience. I believe you're the core dev at the Plasm network, which is by far one of my favorite projects in the DOT ecosystem. And I also believe you have some experience with Terra or Luna, which is a top 25 cryptocurrency by market capitalization. We would love to hear all about that first.
So yeah, I started my blockchain developer experience by contributing to the Viper, which is the Ethereum smart contract language based on Python. I was a really good Python developer when I joined the blockchain developer. So I used to contribute there to improve the Viper code. And then I kind of got the DEFCON 4 scholarship from Ethereum Foundation, and then just started to play around with Ethereum ecosystem. Mm-hmm. And then so while I was working on a developer consulting company, like they were actually choosing whether to consult on the substrate and Cosmos. And I was kind of looking at the code, and I kind of like the language that the substrate project used because it uses Rust, which is memory safe. And I saw that it has much more thing that I can play with. So I sticked around in the polkadot ecosystem.
I think we just momentarily lost Mr. Kang, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully he does join us back. So we appear that Mr. Kang is not here right now. We are hoping that he will come back, ladies and gentlemen. As we wait for Mr. Kang to come back, I will actually get into the frame here. This is the thing about live, ladies and gentlemen. Expect the unexpected. I will, in the meantime, I'm actually going to be joining you guys in the live chat. And I believe we have somebody else trying to join us here named Belly. But let me just communicate with them shortly, guys. These are the type of things that happens. Don't worry. I'm sure we could fix this. In the meantime, you guys could chit-chat as I try to fix this on the fly. We do apologize. This does happen when we're live. All right. So as we wait for Mr. Kang to join us, I'm going to see what you guys are saying in the chat. We're now about to get started. Everybody was getting all excited here. I think this happened last time with Convergence and they came back with Konami. So let's just hopefully wait and see. Everybody's waiting here. I'm going to try one last thing here, guys. We do apologize. Okay. Okay. Don't mind us, guys. All right, so Mr. Kang, he was just telling us that how he's actually working with Plasm Network. As you guys know, I covered Plasm Network about 6 months ago, right? I actually showed you guys how to do your lock drops, and I would love to ask him some brief questions on that, because this is really about standard protocol. And he's actually responsible for that, right? The core dev. And you guys know how much we're all about the Polkadot ecosystem here, and especially Plasm Network, right? I showed you guys how to lock drop your Ethereum to get Plasm tokens, which you already have, and you also got back your Ethereum as well, right? So he has a major part and a hand in that, and also Luna, which he was explaining to us there momentarily as well. So as we wait for him to come back, we will see if we could get this party going still. The beautiful thing about live, ladies and gentlemen, you never know what's going to happen, but don't worry, I'm still here. It's all good. We do have all your questions taken down. Don't worry, we're going to try to resolve this on the fly, and let's get this going here. So Mr. Khan is still okay. I see here he's saying that how there are some issues with that. Okay guys, do allow me 1 second here. I'm going to play this intro here and see if I can organize this. Testing. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. It appears that Mr. Kang is back. How are you doing, sir?
Oh, I just got back. Okay.
It's okay, man. That's what makes these live stream interviews so fun, all right? You never know what's going to happen. Forget the pre-recording edits, man. Nobody likes that stuff. It's okay. So yeah, carry on. You're talking about your blockchain experience or developing experience with Luna and Plasm Network.
Oh yeah. So I got out there, right?
Yeah.
Let me explain. Okay. So I got into Terra from an introduction that there's some new protocols they're developing right now, which is Anchor now. So I've been working on the Cosmos smart contract there, trying to build like a money market or like AMMs or so. And yeah, and eventually I made the Cosmos smart contract called Houston. And
Nice.
one day I just found out that in a CoinDesk Korea, there was an article that Terra actually pre-mined their Lunas or some assets in there. So after seeing this, some of my friends got out of the company in Terra, and I was kind of I was in a conflict whether I should just pursue my career there or just find another job. And while I was like conflicting for that, actually Soda reached out to me, said, "Hey, do you want to build Plasm?" And he said, so I was like, "Okay, yeah, I'll go." And then just put a resignation letter for that, and then just took off to the Plasm. And now I'm building a Cosmos bridge right now between Polkadot to have more decentralized projects in Cosmos ecosystem to be connected into Polkadot right now. And yeah, then I'm also building a staking module for Plasm to reward the dApp developers. by splitting the block rewards that comes out from the each era of the Polkadot. So
Awesome,
yeah, that's
awesome. Yeah, no, normally when I invite guests on, they talk about work history that's not really so much related to blockchain. And you're talking about experience in blockchain developing and two prestigious, when I say prestigious, I mean, Lunar done really well, right? Like anything that's in a top 25 cryptocurrency is pretty good, I think, right? And also Plasm Network. Yeah, Plasm Network has a really good reputation. I know that how they they were one of the first, along with Akala, to connect to the testnet and also to do the XCMP messaging as well. So you guys have reached some milestones, and me and my community, we are actually following Plasm Network very closely. And to know that you have a major role in that, that's really good news for us. That's a sigh of relief. Because we know that you're a serious dev. So that means a lot to us. Speaking of serious devs, I know Web3 grants are only given out to serious projects who have reached milestones. If you don't mind, just explaining to the viewers and even myself what exactly is a Web3 grant, because I understand that Standard Protocol does have a Web3 grant given to them, right?
Yeah, so Web3 grant is for granting those technical researchers or technical developers who wants to improve in the Web3 ecosystem. So what Standard Protocol brings up in the table in a Web3 grant was that, so to improve the Oracle ecosystem right now. So basically, right now, Chainlink consists of one inferior node and a Chainlink middleware. And Chainlink middleware, it actually costs a transaction fee for like an ETH to submit an Oracle data. And as I heard from the bharvest CISO, he says that it's like 4 minutes. Correct me if I'm wrong, but like every 4 minutes the Oracle data is updated. But it is if it's like the data is updated in like 4 minutes, it's gonna be hard for in a financial ecosystem to catch up to the recent prices changes. There could be price surge, or it will be like a sudden drops to represent that it might need to be much more faster with the dedicated blockchain. So MakerDAO also uses an Oracle though, but it doesn't really. But it's not really dedicated for the Oracle. So what Standard brings up in the table is that we try to build a dedicated blockchain for Oracle, and we want to make it decentralized so that in each era it selects the Oracle client that can submit the data. We already built a middleware called Lumen. You should check out in the GitHub in our digital native Inc. And we're trying to test out for the milestone 1 to test in a POA environment. After that, I saw the Polkadot staking module has saved some Pragma election module to select the Oracle client for each era. So I'm trying to utilize that to test out whether that could also work for Oracle to have like a decentralized Oracle system. And also I'm trying to add like no transaction fees for the Oracle clients that is selected in the era. Other clients who submit the data will get an error that you cannot submit the data yet. And yeah, that will actually prevent some network validators and Chainlink like paying 3 ETH in a month and then don't really get rewarded in a link token. Just
cool.
For example.
So with the Web3 grant, right? I mean, like, I like to look at projects that has gotten that grant, and to me, that says a lot. That really separates them from the other projects. But how hard is it to really get that grant? Is it based off of like certain developing, like progress, or how does that work?
Well, for me, I knew how those Polkadot ecosystem goes because I was really grinding myself to learn this program. I kind of really actually enjoyed building blockchain. So. And I think I clearly defined the details that I'm trying to debug with, separating with like a part of the module. So each runtime module has like a storage, runtime module functions, internal module functions, and the dependency injection interfaces from a Rust. So I try to bring that up in the grant proposal, and I try to explain all these differences between what is unique about our application. So for example, we were challenged, what is the difference between the Laminus Oracle ORML Oracle module, and then I said that it's different from there because they treat Oracle as like a control component, but we try to come up with the Oracle that everyone can join, but it is selected by the election, which is from the Polkadot ecosystem called Pragma election. Cool. Or some it could be randomized selection.
Isn't it Parity Technologies as well? No, they got a hand in that. Parity Technologies.
Oh yeah. So I heard that Web3 Foundation is managing the community and the overall the development, and Parity Technology is the part of the technical firm that contributes to the Polkadot ecosystem.
Cool. Well said. Thank you so much for that. It really clears up a lot, right? Because to my understanding, it has a lot to do with the developing progress, but you just shared some more information with myself. Speaking of sharing more information, spill the beans. For people who are hearing about Standard Protocol for the first time, just in a nutshell, right? Because, you know, the questions later down the line, we're going to get into more finer details of it. Just give us a brief overview of the Standard Protocol for somebody watching this live stream, or maybe they're going to watch the replay.
So Standard Protocol want to be called as like a first collateralized rebasable stablecoin. So there has been problems between the algorithmic stablecoin ecosystem where they print bunch of monies in the every rebase, but people might think that this algorithmic stablecoin would just work automatically, but actually requires some users' participations to sacrifice their ownership of their stablecoins in contractionary cases where which is when their stablecoin price goes lower than $1. Mm-hmm. So ESD, I think they came up with coupon. DSD, I think they came up with something else, and Basis Cash just came up with the bond. Mm-hmm. But people did not really want to sacrifice their ownership of a token in those contractionary cases, and most of the algorithmic stablecoins just ended up falling down in prices. But they're trying to bring up the value of their stablecoin by the partnership, but we're not even sure that the price will ever recover. So if they have tuned it right in the first, I think they would work pretty much well. Mm-hmm. But in fiat, I believe there's like a taxes where people have to give some part of their stablecoins, which called USD, or some like what we call fiat money.
Yeah,
and then the government can't do anything about it. But I'm not sure these algorithmic stablecoins can apply the same system as like fiat. So I had to really come up with the collateralization, but I still wanted to add some algorithmic way so that people can so that it is like a decentralized protocol after all. Otherwise, why would we need this? So so we're talking about collateralization ratio that in case community is not really functioning well to maintain the collateralization ratio. We could apply some control theory from Reflexo Labs, but not that hard enough to maintain it right now. Yeah. Maybe I should look over it, but we're trying to apply some, getting all these data for the current circulating supply and the total supply, and then we try to rebase it so that those supplies for available stablecoins that can be over collateralized can be adjusted due to the constant printing of the dollars from the some fiat government or something. Yeah, or some cases where So that's for like the minimal function that I could bring for the rebasing, but like we are trying to bring stablecoin that has that is backed by the value at least from other cryptocurrencies, or I think in Bitcoin I think pretty much they think there's like a real value, and Polka BTC is coming, so we're kind of looking forward to bring those values to generate our stable coins.
No, interesting.
Just that rebase in more productive manner.
No, very interesting stuff here. No, I know like everybody loves a good rebase project, they really do. But you kind of touched up on it, right? I think the ones out there, they're all, it's not really that much of a difference to it, right? And then there might be a copycat coming out and making a similar version of it, right? So I just want to know, like, to your question, and you did touch upon it briefly there, but what really makes Standard Protocol unique or stands out from the rest of these rebase projects? I know it's definitely the collateralization for sure, but if there's anything else, do let us know now, please.
Well, unlike the other rebaseable stablecoin, I think they can group by one feature. I think they just go with money printer goes blah, and then just in contractionary cases, they just requires people to sacrifice their ownership. So actually, most of the projects that came out, it's really kind of forked ones for the algorithmic stablecoins right now. Like after Basis Cash came out, there has been like more than like 5 projects forking each other in Binance Smart Chain.
They're what each other? They're doing what?
Forking.
Forking.
You can fork the repository.
They're copying they're copying the code for sure. Yeah.
And then we have there has been a lot of fork project, I think. So
no, absolutely. Absolutely. So
But
go
yeah,
ahead. No, you go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
oh, so we're actually trying to apply some different rebase mechanism other than just controlling the supply. We're actually controlling the ratio that can be generated from the collateralization. So we just our base is really different from those algorithmic stablecoins, in that we bring those collateralization back, which is based on the mutual trust.
Very interesting. I know you guys have 3 tokens. We're going to get into all of that stuff and some other interesting things. As I said, my community is super excited about Standard Protocol, and I've taken down some questions beforehand, and I also will take some in the live chat as well. So that actually brings us to our first community question, who comes from Ulu Babs, and he asks, one of the reasons many don't want to get into rebase projects is the lack of understanding of the mid to long-term benefit it has. Question: what is Standard Protocol doing to educate community? What's Standard Protocol doing differently from other protocols out there, which you did just touch upon? But I guess you can answer the education aspect if you don't mind, to educate people about Standard's rebase protocol.
All right, I think for the education, just telling people that we're actually using a collateralization can actually change a lot of things, other than compared to other algorithmic stablecoins.
Mm-hmm.
And for the second, what was the question? To raise the community, we try to bring some grassroots approach where we kind of work with local ambassadors in our ecosystem to try to make usage of this stablecoin.
Cool.
First, we try to make the usage of our stablecoin as like an investment. So we try to bring synthetic stocks that we have developed for the Oracle technology, and we could bring like synthetic commodities. And also for growing out of the ecosystem, we're trying to partner with other identity systems, identity blockchains, where they bring those identity layers so that they can do some portfolio copying like eToro did. So that will be interesting to do. And we're also partnered with the private bank called Jinko Bank to bring their CBDC to our platform, so that just in case our stablecoin gets kind of out of control, they can migrate to our CBDC, which is really generated from the real private bank. Yeah.
Right. Awesome stuff. Awesome. Thank you for saying that. I know when it comes to the education side, I'm doing my part right now. So I'm helping out the cause, right? I'm getting it out there. I'm helping it. This interview would surely help educate, those interested. So yeah, I just mentioned about the 3 tokens, and that's really fascinating to me, Mr. Kang. Standard Protocol is made up of 3 tokens. They serve 3 unique use cases, and this is the first time I'm really ever seeing 3 tokens attached to any protocol. I mean, I'm sure there might be some out there, but this is the first time I'm, coming across this. And I find it extremely fascinating. Can you please tell us what's the use cases for all 3 tokens? I believe there's Meter, Lighter, and also Standard. Maybe you could start off with Meter first.
Sure. So the Meter is the stablecoin of our Standard Protocol ecosystem. Meter enables the token logo has been changed, but yeah. So the Meter is a stablecoin that can make people which is generated from the over collateralization from other collaterals, and you could use Meter to buy synthetic assets, or you could actually just keep some value. But stablecoin would have, as like a stablecoin, and it will go through. And when the bear run, there will be a case where the collaterals will be liquidated in an AMM, and we'll have a pairs with the Meter to buy those collaterals in a much more cheaper price. So compared to MakerDAO had an auction where only a group of people who had Maker token could join the auction to buy those liquidations in a cheaper price. So I actually kind of thought that this could be improved more to get more access to the people. So I built the AMM so that those liquidations can go to the pair, so that those Meter holders can buy those tokens in a more cheaper price. So and the AMM was born based on the Uniswap v2. And for the liquidity provider token, we use a Lighter. So Lighter or Leader is the liquidity provider token, which is generated from the AMM providing liquidity. There will be many kinds of Leader, as like SushiSwap and Uniswap did. So like there could be Meter, Dash, or Standard pair, or Meter Dash, or that. So those liquidity provider token, having that, we're preparing the farming module where you stake those LP token lighter to get standard, and
Oh,
those like allocations are like the biggest allocation that we have. I mean, we wanted to really follow the fair launch, but due to our lack of resources and probably the partnership between other founders and like funds, so we had to
sure, sure,
negotiate with them. But
sure.
our biggest allocation comes from the yield farming for sure. So we have made it that so people can actually provide liquidity and get the standard tokens to use it for governance, because we believe that those who contribute to the standard ecosystem are those liquidity providers there. So after getting standard tokens, I think people can people can manage the CDP of each positions between meter or synthetic assets,
What is that?
and
Sorry,
people
CBT.
could
The CBD you said. What's that? CBT.
collateral that position. It's
Gotcha,
called
gotcha,
CDP.
gotcha. Yes,
So
yes, yes.
yeah. So managing CDP, I actually kind of opened to governed to set up collateralization ratio and all these informations to be controlled with the community, so that so that community can have like a full control on the CDP right now, and and it was actually for preventing a Black Thursday, the MakerDAO experience in a more active way.
Hmm.
So that's why I kind of added more space that community can get into to change the CDP positions and all that. And they can also propose the synthetic tokens to be generated new, and that's mostly what standard can do. And if we extend, I think we can pretty much have more space for community to manage this protocol. Yeah.
Very cool. So correct me if I'm wrong here. Just to reiterate what you just went over. So lighter is to provide liquidity on whatever. Well, it wouldn't be Uniswap in this case, but on the liquidity pool, right? Whatever DEX that is on Substrate framework, right? And then standard is the actual governance token, right? So you could have a say in certain things depending on how much tokens you hold. And in order to get standard tokens, you could yield farm. You need to submit your LP tokens after you provide liquidity with leader, right? And then that's how you could yield standard protocol tokens. And then, right, we're good so far, yeah. And meter now,
Yeah.
is meter the actual expand and contract? That's the actual token that does that, the rebase, the elastic supply part.
Yeah, rebase.
Cool,
Yeah.
cool.
The rebase is that for the vault, they're going to investigate the meter price collected from the Oracle, and they get the ratio of the circulating supply and the one USD price and then all that, and then adjust the supply of the stablecoin that can be generated from the dollarization or the CDP that is chosen by the governance.
You guys really took the time to think this through. It's very elaborate, this whole protocol here. At least the combination of three tokens. So in your humbled opinion, which one plays the most important role here, these tokens? I guess they all are important, but which one do you think stands out in terms of importance?
Well, to govern it, I think the governance token is probably most important, because
that dictates
all the
that dictates how the protocol would be, right? So yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Moving on here. So we got another community question here, Mr. Kang, from Top Dog, who asks, it is clear that the 3 token model has been thoroughly thought out, just like what I said. So can you tell us exactly how it will benefit the users and, of course, the investors in the standard ecosystem?
Okay, so I was actually thinking the extra use case of the standard token. So I'm trying to test out if using a governance token to get the distribution of the stability fee pro rata to the balance of the standard token could be possible. I'm trying to do some research on that, and then standard token will be also used for governance, and the share for the stability fee that is collected by those borrowers that generate the CDP. Mm-hmm. And for the meter not only gives like a stable coin, I think it gives an opportunity for people to do some arbitrage trades in a bear run where collateralized assets is thrown to the AMM. So I think by having a meter, I think you have this cool opportunity to buy those assets in a cheaper price. And for the leader, it's proved that you contribute to the ecosystem, that you provide liquidity, and you can also make your new pair. We prepared the token IDs to make a pair out of it, in our substrate runtime module code. And yeah, that's 3 use cases of the 3 tokens. Yeah.
Love it,
Or
man.
for Meter, maybe Meter can be used for the retail usage.
Okay.
But that also leads to another discussion, I guess.
Yeah.
We need some more. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. No, that's really well detailed response, man. I really appreciate that. And we have another question here from CryPro. Thank you for your question, CryPro. He asks about Leader as well. Speaking of Leader, the coin Leader, as you explained, is the liquidity providing token and is said to be burned in an AMM to receive deposited assets. Is the supply of the token ever changed, or is it infinitely burned?
Oh, the supply of the token will be changed like constant. So when a person generates a new pair, let me give you the exact equation.
Please.
It collects the multiplication of each reserve that you place in a new pair, and then we do the square root of amount of it, and then you get the LP token amount. And out of that, like when you like give more liquidity into the existing pair, it calculates the equation of each reserve's multiplied by total supply and the reserves that they have in the AMM. I need to look at the code, but those minted token will be given like that. And when you burn, those LP tokens will be burned, but like it's going to calculate the total supply. What do we say? So you're going to get the each reserve multiplied by the total supply of the LP token. Divide by total supply of the LP token and multiplied by the LP token amount that you burn. So that's
awesome.
The equation.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool. So basically, then that's going to be, liquidity that's there pretty much forever. Then, if the LPs are burned, right? Is that how it works?
Yeah, that's what it works. I think there are some interesting term from the Uniswap called slippage. I need to study more about how we should prevent the impermanent loss. But right now, I think we're still now V1. Like to improve that, I think to do some more research to stop impermanent loss in all those liquidity pools and all that. So we're pretty much looking into it. And also Uniswap V3. V3 is also interesting in that I think they provide liquidity in certain ratio of the reserves that they have in the pair. So I think we could do some research to figure out, like putting some ratio range as like a key, and then put some liquidity tokens amount in there, so that when people trade in that range of the ratio that they have in a pair, those liquidities is only subtracted. Yeah.
So you just you just indirectly corrected me then, because I was thinking this is going to go on a substrate, sort of like maybe PolkaSwap or I don't know some other DEX that supports substrate. But you're saying the token in itself will be ERC and it's going to be on Uniswap. Is that what you're saying?
So the thing is that we actually try to bring the open token standard from the Akala. Akala has provided some token standard for each parachain called ORML. So we follow those token standard, and we try to come up with that. So that's it's not gonna be like same as ERC20, but it acts pretty much same. So those data registry, the modules are coded in a token module. We'll pretty much get it ready to after the integration of ORML is done. Yeah.
So it will be compatible with ERC20 DEXs, is what you're saying? With Uniswap.
That's what I hope to do.
That's cool.
We're actually trying to test out the EVM implementation of pre-compiled contracts. I think Akala actually tried to come up with the pre-compiled contracts to turn those ORML tokens to ERC20 tokens to be transferred in a smart contract engine. So once those research is kind of done and we can do that, I think, and then we'll pretty much have our own EVM at that time if we finish those research, so that those who have ERC20 can convert it into ORML and then send it to other parachains, I think. Yeah.
Cool. We have 423 people watching here, Mr. Kang. I'm going to get to some of the super chats, but guys, you need to understand, we got a very, very special developer here on the show as my guest, right? This guy's the core developer of the Plasm Network. he has strong ties with Akala. As we know, Akala and Plasm Network, they work side by side. And I know this is standard protocol, but you know, he's giving us some insights on some things here. So we have a very, very, very guy that I hold up in high regard here. And it's a pleasure to have him here. So I'm actually going to read some of the super chats, if you don't mind here, Mr. Kang, as we go along. So we have a $9.99 super chat from Vince. Thank you so much. He says, TCL fam, hit the like button. I appreciate all the support. Harish also with the $77.77 super chat. So excited about this interview and this project, education with entertainment. Thank you so much, Harish. You're always supporting the channel. I think I have to split these super chats with you, Hyungsuk, because you know it's not fair, right? You're sharing the content with me, right? So it's only right if I do that. We got another one here from Yolrik who says, just because, thanks to TCL and the admins for making this best community in crypto space, can't thank you enough. I appreciate you for saying that. And we have one last one, which I can't get to at the moment. Okay, yeah, people are really loving the show so far. So that actually brings us, to, you know, in the white paper, they talk about the collateral vaults, I believe. Is it the vaults for collateral leverage?
Yeah.
Yeah, please, could you touch upon that if you don't mind?
Sure. So the vault module manages the CDP of the certain assets that can generate the stablecoin, and we're trying to extend those vault module to bring those synthetic assets by collateralization as well. So, so for example, vault module, what they can do is that you can enable leverage trading. So, I think last year the ETH price was like 200 or 300, and let's just say that you collateralize ETH to make a CDP, and then you borrow like 120 worth of stablecoin, and then you buy the Ethereum again. And this year, as you can see, the Ethereum price is like 1,680. There should be there should be more expensive price there, but at that time, you just need to pay $120 worth of stablecoin with the interest rate. With that, you can still get the ETH that you were collateralized by closing the position, and you also get the ETH that you bought extra. So that could make you like more profit, I guess.
Interesting.
And if the CDP is liquidated, in our case, it's still fine. You can go quickly to the AMM and just buy the collateralization that you liquidated.
Right. Thanks for the tip. Thanks for the tip.
Yeah. So that actually kind of made it so that people could know about that. So
yeah. Cool stuff,
so
man.
You don't feel that, so people don't feel it's kind of lost.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. Speaking of the white paper, it also mentions and tells us in regards to using the meter token, as you alluded to earlier in this live stream, we can use this for purchases. In what form and how? How could this be used for purchases? The meter token.
So meter token will be just generated from the vault module, but as of right now, what do you say? What did I? Oh yeah, so we're actually discussing partnership with Konami which is like a money market, and kind of believe that if the stable coin successfully stabilizes, I think it can be used for the metrics for, the index asset for a working in a DeFi ecosystem. So like if you look at Aave, like there's like ADAI or like AUST or something. Those kind of stable numbers can actually kind of give like a firm use case on the other DeFi ecosystem as well once we develop the stablecoin. So I thought that would just make our stablecoin to be useful in every other DeFi ecosystem. Yeah.
Really cool. You said Konami. You're going to be partnering with Konami?
Oh, we're actually in a discussion with them, so I'm pretty sure we're kind of confirmed with them right now.
That's cool. We just had Jaden on the show here about 2 weeks ago. We're watching Konami very closely. We had him on. We love his company, and to know you guys are partnering, that's just makes it just even better, really. So that's pretty cool. Jaden's a really solid guy. Yeah, his interview was pretty cool as well, just as this one is going along as well too. So that's awesome to hear. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we have another community question here from Cardoza. Okay, and we're getting to the community questions now. Okay, Mr. Kang, if that's okay. So we'll get to this. Yeah. So this first one, well, this is not the first one, but the first of what's to come. Cardozo says, thank you for the question, by the way. How standard users will be able to earn income in a bear market? And you did say that a few times here already. How is that possible?
Yeah. So you buy a meter and then kind of save it for a while, and then let's just say if the bear market comes, you have to really carefully look at the AMM pair, whether there's like a liquidation is thrown to the AMM. So if you look at the in bearish market conditions, meter holders can generate profits by purchasing other digital assets which were liquidated by those liquidator that finds the invalid CDPs. So what would I call it for invalid CDP is that it's like a CDP position where the position does not fit from the time where they made the CDP. So what do you say? So it doesn't satisfy the collateralization ratio from the collateral price and the meter token price that was generated. So once that happens, liquidator can access to the expired CDP positions and then just liquidate it. They get some percentage of the liquidated asset, and then the rest of them is thrown to the market of the meter pair. So you guys really need to have the meter to buy those assets at a cheaper price and then sell it to other exchanges. You might be able to get premium on that. Yeah.
Cool. And how do they get the meter again? Is that going to be, you said that, how do they obtain that? Is it just going to be live on the market?
I think people can collateralize it in our apps, or people could buy in exchanges. But in case where the exchanges kind of sell it high, then you could just collateralize with the other assets, I think. Yeah.
Very interesting. So you have to earn it, right? For the most part, you got to earn it, right? Okay, I love that. I love that. Okay, cool stuff. We got another question here from Thomas Crystal. Thank you so much, Thomas. One of the top BHBs out there for sure. When you're going for a Parachain slots on Kusama and Polkadot, how are you going to do that? Lock drops or some kind of crowd loans? Very interesting question.
So we try to follow the standard strategy that what other first Parachain projects do. We're actually thinking of kind of like a Parachain lease offering, like a crowd loaner. So crowd loan module has been actively developing right now. So I think we'll pretty much go with the safest way to do it. And for the Kusama Parachain, I think we could apply for that once we get our Rococo testnet implementation ready, and then sent out like all these digital assets are now like being done. And when the Kusama auctions happens, I think it's gonna take not a long time because Kusama Parachain actually has like a shorter slot time period, which is like 6 weeks. So we'll pretty much start from the pair thread, and when we feel that we need to change it to a Parachain, we will apply for the Parachain slot auctions, and then we'll have to bring some other funds or some investors to apply for the Parachain auction as well. Yeah.
I believe it was when I had Jaden on the program a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about the Parachain, the crowd loans. I made a joke to him. I said, when is this going to actually be confirmed, right? I hope this doesn't turn into like ETH 2.0, where it just carries on and carries on. But I know this is like, this is something that's sophisticated. It's, a lot of tech involved, so it needs to take its time to get it done right. So that's expected, right? Something this lavish and this high tech and prestigious, right, has never been done. Having all these projects come together into one ecosystem like this. So I get it, and that's fine. And I believe there was an announcement not too long ago from on Akala's side there, but I didn't get a chance to really deep dive into that. But yeah, do you know?
So the current state of the Parachain development right now is now they're testing the. I think they're going from the stress testing, whether the Parachain can actually perform interchain transaction well. And I think they kind of found out some security attacks regarding the cumulus of the Parachain. So I think we're kind of discussions whether to improve to change that thing or some parameters. But I think there is like a common misconceptions in the Polkadot ecosystem that once a Parachain does not become a Parachain, it's just not a blockchain anymore. But it's actually not true. They can actually start as like a parathread. And and that's what we're actually kind of aiming to become, like a pair. So we're trying to actually test out whether we really need Parachain. So Parathread can still do Parachain transactions. It can maybe work kind of safer in that based on the current security attack that the Polkadot ecosystem has faced. So so that's the current state of the Parachain development.
Cool. Every time I get a Web3 grant or a quality Polkadot project such as yourself on the program, I always ask them this question: myth or fact here, Mr. Kang? Okay, what does it take to actually become a parachain? Now, is it the amount of kusamas or maybe dots that's submitted into the crowd loan, or is it the community? You know what I mean? Or is it the technology, the development of that, or is it like a combination of both?
I think it's a combination of both. I think in governance in Polkadot, they can pick up a common good parachain to get a slot, I think.
Yeah.
And there are some, I heard that there are some parachain projects that can be connected as like a common good.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Such as like, which is focused on the technical development side. Like, well, I'm not sure if I have to tell this, but yeah, there are some projects that are selected as like a common good parachain as far as I know. Cool. And other than that, people can apply for like a kusama or a dot to get a parachain slot, I think. And once the slot is reserved, then you just need to connect the parachain to the slot, and then they become a parachain.
That's it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool stuff.
But it's not totally a myth. It's actually running in Rococo.
Right.
It's just not ready for like a bunch of like the hazardous the real time, I guess, like real environment with the bell testing. I think they're really now bell testing, but it's totally available in Rococo right now. Yeah.
I feel as though it, like, imagine the projects that are gunning for this parachain, and I'll bring myself into the frame here, but imagine these projects that are actually gunning for a parachain and they're working so hard, right? They got their heads down like how you are here in your room, the developer room, you got your books in the background, right? You're just coding away, working hard in your room quietly, and you're making so much progress with technology and developing, and you're almost at the mainnet or whatever it is, but yet say you don't got the marketing or a huge community, and then you see some project that doesn't even have much tech, I didn't reach your levels, but yet they got, marketing, they're paying probably YouTubers, and they got that community backing, and they get the parachain, but the actual legitimate project doesn't. That's something that wouldn't sit well with me. It's almost like how I explain it, right? It's almost like when the markets go down, if Bitcoin was to go down, for the most part, the markets follow suit. And imagine all those other project like team members that are working so hard on, like, I don't know, I could say whatever it is, Icon or whatever it is, or, well, I don't know if they're working hard anymore, but, just all these other projects that are working hard, and then they got to see their price go down just because of Bitcoin. The same is kind of true with this crowd loan, right? You could have this technology that you coded for years, but yet not get a parachain because this other project had more marketing and got more crowd loans in due to it. I don't think that's,
Well, we also have some kind of a chat, like, saying all these things. And
hey, I'm just speaking out loud for you guys. I'm speaking out loud for you. Don't worry. Okay.
But I can't name some, but yeah, but there's definitely a chat about it. But I think that's why common good parachain exists. I think community's kind of aware of that, and they're really fans of the projects, and they're kind of worried about it. But Plasm is actually trying to compete with the technology that they have. I think it's what I like about working there. They're really a humble tech firm trying to build up something. But I don't think we're not gonna lose to those people because they're not sustainable. So we want to provide sustainable solutions for the new Web3 ecosystem. So we'll pretty much survive at last, I think.
You know what that example reminds me of? And let me just bring me back into the frame there. I'm going to say something again. Hey, don't mind me. This is just my opinion. But it reminds me of this. We have ADA that's been on the freaking markets for like, 3 years now? And they didn't have one freaking DApp on that blockchain. Only up until they see Polkadot getting all the coverage, all the news. And what does that do? That brings the best out of the competition, right? Like, oh man, the pressure's on. So what he would do is he pays these tubers to talk about ADA. ADA goes up and then it comes back down, right? The price, right? And I know it's not about price, but it's a direct correlation of the two things here, And what I love about Gavin Wood, he doesn't care about marketing, right? Because the ecosystem is going to sell itself. So you don't really see Gavin Wood on like, my YouTube channel or whatever YouTube channel. That's fine. He's focused on the core of it all. And I mean, he's a guest speaker, I think on TEDx and all these other things. And that's really cool. But he doesn't care about, doing this stuff like what you see these other guys doing. And that's what I love about him. And the other thing I love about Polkadot is how it unites projects instead of dividing projects, right? My chain is better. No, my chain is, it's not tribal. So I just love that aspect as well. I don't know if you agree with that, but yeah, that's my sentiment.
Agree. Tomorrow I'll try to present about how we're going to connect Cosmos to Polkadot with the IVC and all these like secret bridges that they bring. So it's about for me in this blockchain ecosystem, it's about building things together with friends. I don't really kind of care about company culture anymore. I mean, I just had too much in Terra. Like Terra, it's just they're too focused on themselves, I think. So after I got out and then got into Plasm, I can now make an open source projects that can solve some problem in a real way, and challenge myself to make a real thing. And then just be humble and then just hang out with friends. Hey, I made this, and then
it's a win-win situation you got going on. Yeah, you remind me so much of Soda, just class act, man. Both of you guys are class acts, and I love your personality as well, man. Really answering these questions well. So thank you so much for that. And that brings us to the next one that comes from Expats, who asks, Akala has Coinbase supporting it, and its AUSD is probably going to be the stablecoin for the Polkadot ecosystem. What challenges is there room for standard meter stablecoin to compete in the Polkadot ecosystem?
Oh, so meter can bring some opportunity, as I tell, in the AMM, so that people can actually. So I built meter to have fun in bear market. I was thinking, what if people have fun in bear market when the other coin projects just kind of moan the price is falling and all those tweets or something. So I think meter has some special positions regarding the AUSD from Akala, but Akala Akala is like a DeFi hub. So we also I hope to really the standard to be operated with Akala too, and what meter can compete or standard protocol can compete is that we are actually trying to make a bridge between fiat with the private banks. So Jinko Bank, I told you, they are kind of really open to opening a financial product from out of the crypto. So we're trying to connect the open banking API. So recently, Korean government actually made a banking API where it connects all the Korean banks to work with the fiat assets they have in their own government. And we call that open banking API. And I'm actually trying to do some research on whether it would be possible to detect the bank balance change from the open banking API, and then let some root account or some banks crypto accounts to generate the mapped digital Korean one once they detect the Korean one just came into a bank for changing. So the reason why I partner with the Jinko Bank is that they actually had all the licenses for operating crypto with fiat. So we kind of had the partners, and then they made an investment to us to build those bridges all together. So I'm very looking forward to build those things, but I don't really compete between Akala or something. We just really want to help each other.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what we were just talking about before this question. It's not about competing in the Polkadot ecosystem. It's about partnering and building something together bigger and better for everybody to use, right? And I'm all about that myself. Okay, so let's carry on to the next question here. And for those in the live chat, we could take about 2 or 3 questions. Just submit it to Professor in the meantime. All right. So our next question is from Efren. Thank you so much, Efren, for your question. According to your phase 1 implementation in your white paper, the standard protocol will initially be implemented in smart contracts in Parity Inc. Cosmwasm and EVM. That's Ethereum virtual machine. Does this mean that you will be launching your project before Polkadot becomes active? Do you have a date for when the project will become live?
So to tell you about this answer, I was actually trying to build this in Plasm because Sota and I are really good friends, and then yeah, why not build one in your protocol and then have a fun together. But after looking some technical in like research, and they just found out that there should be something done in Oracle ecosystem. So primarily, we're trying to switch it to a substrate to implement the Oracle module so that those assets or the prices, those ecosystem can be fixed. And when those things got improved, we'll try to move our assets using a bridge. I mean, I've already had the experiences moving those assets to bridge teams and all that. So once we move those bridges, we'll maybe have another implementation of the standard. So standard will be implemented in other Binance Smart Chains or like Cosmosm and Secret Network, or other protocols can be coming online to meet new friends and then build something new together.
What sort of telling you? He's like, hey, you can build your own project, man, but just don't stray away too far from me, okay? I need you still. I need you.
That's kind of what we're at right now. But Standard will help out Plasm with using an Oracle solution. Yeah, and I believe that our Oracle can also interoperate with other Oracle system as well. They also have their own uniqueness, and they have their own information that Standard can bring. So yeah, so that's my opinion about that. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. Always really, you're answering on point and very detailed. I appreciate that. Our last community question before I take 2 or 3 live questions, again, do hand that over to Professor, comes from FB Crypto. Thank you for your question here, FB Crypto, about the stablecoin Meter. For what I'm understanding, it seems as though everyone's interested in Meter a lot. For what I'm understanding, the major use case is to be a stablecoin that you can keep like any other, but at the same time works as a ticket to be able to buy liquidated assets at discount prices from the platform. Is this correct? Also, is there any other advantages to hold Meter as opposed to hold USDT or USDC, for example? And is it safer because it's backed by a variety of assets and managed in a decentralized way? And I do apologize. That's like 10 questions in one, but I could repeat for you if you want.
Okay, so I think you can divide by 2 questions to compare the USDT and our Meter. Sure. So USDT or USDC was actually generated from the exchanges, I believe, to map the amount of dollars that is collected in the fiat world, and then just map those amounts into a crypto system. I think USDT actually started from Bitfinance, and USDC is from the Coinbase, and then USDT actually kind of moved to a Tether Foundation, I believe. And then, so I heard that USDT is actually mapping all these token amounts in the Tether tokens, but it does not really have some financial activities going on. So Meter, on the other hand, we provide opportunities to buy collateralized assets from the liquidation, and we can also we try to think of we also have like you can actually create a liquidity by providing a pair in an AMM, and then you can take those LPs to farm Standard. So I think Meter has more use case than the USDT and USDC right now. But for the price stability, I think USDT and USDC takes the advantage because they just map the number that they have in the fiat world. But DAI or Meter, those collateralized stable coins, have some little variance on the price changes that is independent to the mapped number in the fiat world. I mean, even USDT also shows some variance due to market demand and supply. And we expect that this is going to happen, and we try to come up with the improved way to manage those supplies and the collateralization as well. But the thing is that our Meter token is backed by the other values of the crypto. So that's what's the difference between the non-backed algorithmic stablecoins.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I don't know about you guys out there, but I stopped using USDT a long time ago for reasons I'm not going to mention here, but you guys should know that by now. I don't use USDT anymore. Let's just put it like that. Thank you so much, Mr. Kang. Those are the questions I have right now. If you don't mind, do we got time? I know we're heading over an hour and it's really late. You're in Korea right now, right? Or are you in China?
Yeah, I'm in Korea.
You're in Korea?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so it's pretty late. What's the time there? Midnight?
It's like 1 a.m. Yeah.
Okay, we're going to wrap it up. Do we have time for 2 questions, if you don't mind?
Oh, it's okay. Yeah.
Okay. I'll take 2 quick live questions here. So, as I'm in the chat here, Super Kitty with the $50 super chat. Thank you so much for everything. My pleasure. We got to thank Mr. Khan as well for staying up late and making this interview happen. And also Charlie Hugh, who's making this happen as well. Thank you so much, Charlie. I really appreciate you and the rest of the team as well. Okay, so we do have some questions here, Professor, submitting to me. Okay, from Min and Ho, who asks, so thank you, Min and Ho, for the question. Is there a staking program planned? If so, what are the benefits? I believe that's the yield farming, though, right? Not really staking.
Yeah, that's the yield farming with the previous allocation, or standard.
Yeah, so Minino, he did answer that already, and I'll just answer it for him. Earlier in the stream, if you're just joining us, pretty much you will submit leader for liquidity, get LP tokens, and then you could stake or yield farm that, and then receive standard tokens, which is the governance token. So all of these tokens are connected and have their own unique role that they play in the protocol, in the ecosystem and protocol. Okay, we have another question here. Let me see. Okay, I don't really understand this, but Craver Kings, thank you nonetheless for the question, who asks, what metric is the rebase based on? Is he talking about the algorithm? Yeah.
So it's the circulating supply and the Oracle price and just a constant with the 1 USD with the 18 decimal. So we pretty much have like make a equation out of the total supply of the stablecoin and the circulating supply, which is calculated from the vault. Like what I mean about the circulating supply is the amount of stablecoin that has been already generated from the vault, and the Oracle price represents the price that is collected from the exchanges or the other markets that it is selling our stablecoin. So we try to get those numbers out and then compare it to the 1 USD price, and then adjust the supply out of which is available for the over collateralization.
Awesome, thank you.
And when the total supply cannot be decreased to set up to match up to the next total supply due to a circulating supply, I think we'll pretty much go through the emergency shutdown stage where not generate stable coins anymore.
Okay, I was going to say that's it, but I have to ask this question from my friend Dima, who's been he's been really active in my community here. He asks, it might be somewhat of a curveball here for you, not really though, because oracles are centralized, there is no decentralized option to reward them. Standard Protocol wants to solve this problem and reward oracle providers in a decentralized manner. Can you please touch on how you plan to do this? Thanks for your time.
Okay, so what I mean about Oracle is decentralized. It means that so we need to go through why the Oracle is centralized. So Oracle has been centralized in the MakerDAO. I heard that there's like a 20 anonymous accounts submitting a data in an Ethereum blockchain, or Chainlink also has those like middleware that submits the Oracle chain data. But there's actually a effort for Chainlink to come up with some consensus algorithm to vote for a data that is submitting to an Ethereum blockchain. But I think this was all centralized because of the smart contracts managing it. But we try to go deeper than the smart contracts to manage the Oracle logic. So what I mean about decentralized is that we try to pick the oracles to be selected by the staking using a pragmatic election that was from the staking module. So you have an Oracle account like Ether. Let's just say for example, you have a Ethereum account to submit the data, and then in our chain, it's called the account, and those accounts are voted by those standard token holders to submit the data. And in each era, those Oracle accounts are selected, and those with that account, you can put it in the Oracle client to submit those data to our chain. So I think that actually kind of explains the decentralization of the Oracle, because oracles can actually change in each era. So there's no controlled account which just submits constantly to the blockchain right now. And we have a slashing logic to detect the wrongdoers with the outliers compared to other Oracle submission. And in case where all these oracles kind of submit the wrong data, I would try to go through some tests on the off-chain worker which collects all the data from the Oracle client running in a local environment with our Parachain, so to detect them all. So
really cool.
It's in a development progress. Yeah.
This is why I like to get the developers on the program, because you guys give us the facts, right? And the real information. No second guessing here. So thank you so much, Mr. Kang. And I believe we're going to wrap it up here. We have a last super chat, $4.99 from St. Nick. Thanks so much, Francis. Your interviews are amazing. Well, hey, when we have guests like Mr. Kang on, it really makes my job a heck of a lot easier. I actually got two more questions, Mr. Kang, if you don't mind. So when can the viewers expect Standard Protocol to go live? Is there any sort of dates or maybe ideal launch pads you have in mind? Maybe you can talk about that, or you could give us a general idea on when this is going live for those who want to get the token.
I think we have confirmed IDO on Polka Starter on April 27th, and I don't think we're gonna give out the real tokens yet, because our real implementation will be on substrate. It's gonna be much more like a polkadot, which gives out the allocation and then go through some claiming process to get the balances in the substrate blockchain. So we'll pretty much give out the allocations, and after that, we'll go for the Kusama parachain or polkadot parachain based on the technical progress to test out all these our parachains. What people are going to see is that there will be first a Rococo parachain coming out. After that, they'll see Kusama parachain or polkadot parachain if polkadot is doing an auction when we try to launch it. I'm pretty sure those allocations will be deployed in a polkadot parachain. If not, we could go for a Kusama. So that's our plan for like from Q2 or Q3.
Cool.
And we try to launch our Rococo implementation on May.
Okay, awesome. So you're saying on the 27th this is confirmed. Is this breaking news right here, right now, or is this public information already? Because we love breaking news on this program. We love breaking news here.
Yeah, so I think it is. I've been focusing on coding, so I cannot say that this is breaking news.
Okay. sorry. But, I don't want to put you on the spot. Yeah, that's cool.
Okay. Yeah.
I appreciate that nonetheless, guys. Hey, look, it's been an honor. I'm done here. If there's anything left you wanted to say, maybe, people could join your Twitter, guys. Go join their Twitter, join their Telegram chat, get educated. I really like this project because we got, one of my favorite projects in Plasm Network, the core dev behind it. And, as you can tell, he's a very highly intelligent person as well. So, I expect good things from this project. Web3 grant given, 3 tokens, well thought out. You might want to look into this one, guys. So, Mr. Kang, if you got something to say, now is your chance.
Well, thank you for having me, Francis. It's really a great interview to tell what I know about the standard. So, if you need questions or some comments about our system, you can always visit our Telegram or Discord and then discuss about it. A standard is all about open source project, discussing people to improve the system to stabilize our meter and building a new next finance with the new digital asset standard. So if you want to join the team, don't hesitate to join the Telegram and Discord.
Love it, man. Hey, I would love to have you back on maybe sometime in the future. You're a class act, and I would love to have you back on. Before I say my conclusion, though, Mr. Kang, I need to know one last thing from you. What lifestyle are you living, my brother?
Well, as an open source developer, I'm actually kind of more, what do I say? I'm actually, well, what do I say?
No, you're living, no. You got to say the crypto lifestyle, baby.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, I'm living the crypto lifestyle.
There we go. I throw a curveball at you last minute. It's all good, man. I love the real reaction. With that being said, guys, I'm about to say my conclusion, and we're going to end this interview. It's almost hitting 2 a.m. in Korea, and we're going to call this quits right now. Well, there you have it, my hustlers, ninjas, TCLers, and 100Xers alike. Standard Protocol is clearly not your average rebase project. With a Web3 grant in check and 3 tokens making up this intricate and well thought out protocol, along with a founder and developer that has an impeccable track record and credentials to go with it, I think your boy TCL just found the next low-key gem. Standard Protocol will give you the ability to leverage everything such as virtual stocks and commodities that is backed by synthetic assets through the use of oracles. I truly believe this collateralized rebaseable stablecoin will make a huge dent in the Polkadot universe and ecosystem. So you can bet your bottom Satoshi that I'll be paying a very, very close attention to its developments in the weeks and in the months to come and updating you all. So you know what? There ain't really much left to say other than Until the next interview, you're on your own. Later.